So welcome to today's video. We are taking a look at how to mix Tundra blue from the supergranulating watercolor line from Schmincke Horadam. And today we have a color where I don't have the original color from Schmincke, so I had to look up on my Schmincke dot card as well as pictures in the internet. And we have a two pigment mix here. It is PB29 Ultramarine Blue. I am using today Ultramarine Blue from the company or the brand White Nights. And then we are having Burnt Umber, and I am using the Burnt Umber from Schmincke Horadam because it is a single pigment PBR7. And here is something very, very important to know. And that's the reason why I always tell people it is very important to at least know a little bit about pigments. You don't have to go nerd deep like I'm doing with my pigment knowledge, but to know a little bit about it can really, really make your life a lot easier and save you a lot of frustration, because burnt umber is one of the color names where not every brand has the same pigment or pigment combinations in it. So you have colors like ultramarine blue. An ultramarine blue will always be a PB29. Okay, so maybe some people now say, yeah, but you could have a genuine lapis lazuli blue, which is also the original version of a ultramarine blue. But lapis lazuli also has the pigment called PB29, so it is the same for the original version or the synthetic version. So ultramarine blue will always be a PB29, doesn't matter if it's the original one or the modern synthetic version. But color names like burnt umber, for example, can be a single pigment color like I have now from Schmincke, but it also can be a combination of pigments from 2 or 3 different pigments, for example. PBR7 is the most expensive of the iron oxide pigments. And that's the reason why, for example, cheaper brands tend to stretch it and use cheaper iron oxide pigments to mix it. So, for example, in cheaper brands, you often will find a combination of PBR7 with a PY 42, a synthetic yellow iron oxide, for example. Or also some brands in artist grade range, like Winsor Newton Professional or Daniel Smith, for example, have a 2 or 3 pigment version. The burnt umber from Daniel Smith has a red, brown, and a yellow iron oxide in it. And here the important thing is that I haven't tried to do the mix with every version of burnt umber. But of course, if you have different pigments in it, you could get a different result. Doesn't mean you have to buy a PBR7 single pigment if you don't have one. You could try it with your version, and it may look different. Different mustn't necessarily be bad, because maybe it looks better or you like it better. You never know. But the important thing here is that it is important to know that it can look different, because I am talking from experience, years way back when I haven't had any experience about pigments. And I've seen videos on YouTube of people calling things like or telling you things like mix color, for example, like here ultramarine blue with burnt umber. And I had a different pigment version of one of the colors, and I mixed and mixed and mixed and mixed, and it just didn't get the same result. And I really, really was so damn frustrated and thought I'm just too stupid. I can't do it. So that's the reason why I say, especially when you're trying to recreate mixtures like a supergranulating color from a brand, it is important to look at the pigments, not just the color names, because there are also colors like, for example, Payne's gray or sepia, where the historical pigment or pigments aren't used anymore from any brand because they aren't light fast, and you will find that every brand or company has their own versions. You can buy 10 Payne's grays from 10 different companies or 10 sepias, and you will have 10 completely different pigment combinations in the colors. So that is just something to be aware of. Like I said, it doesn't have to be worse. It just will be maybe different, and just to know that, I think, is important. So here is my mixture when it's dried. And you can see we have a nice separation between the blue, and because we have more of a 70-30 mix, not a 50-50, we have a lower ratio of the burnt umber. The burnt umber doesn't show as a brown, more like a hint of a ochre yellowish color. So before I knew if it is really the burnt umber PBR7, it could also have be possible that this is that the PBR7 they have used would be PBR7 burnt sienna. I've tried it, and the result didn't look the same. So yeah, that's the reason I thought it has to be the burnt umber. So I really hope this was helpful and interesting. Thank you so much for watching. I would be very grateful for a thumbs up or a follow, because it really, really helps me and the channel. So yeah, hopefully see you soon in one of my other videos. Bye bye.